Hi, it's Febby27, and today I will be showing you 9 compact, small, and effective farms for your Minecraft survival world. So, I will be showing you a melon and pumpkin farm, a crop farm, so wheat, potatoes, carrots, and beetroot, a cocoa bean farm, a sugarcane farm, a cactus farm, a nether wart farm, a kelp farm, a sea pickle farm, and a flower farm. So, let's go. These first 2 farms are pretty commonly known, although I enhanced them to try and make them as effective as possible. So first, we have the melon and pumpkin farm, which is very simple to build. Basically, how it works is when this vine attaches to a pumpkin, this observer will be updated, powering all of this redstone, which will activate all of these pistons, pushing the pumpkin into the hoppers, and then into this chest. This is all it is. There's nothing under there or anything. So basically, for each pumpkin, it's 1 observer, 1 piston, 2 dirt, a pumpkin seed, and a hopper. You can stack as many as you want of these in a row or even on top of each other, and they will work very well. So, if we /game rule random tick speed 10,000, you can see pumpkins are growing. That is very loud, but you can see pumpkins are growing and automatically going into the chest. Yeah, so this farm, as you can see, does have a very small loss rate. It's a loss rate of around 1 to 2%, which is really good for a farm like this. So yeah, next we have the automatic crop farm. So this farm works by you place a crop in there, it grows, this block is pushed by a piston, which then blocks light to this crop block, making the potatoes break. These dispensers are loaded with bone meal. So if we place a potato, the observer is going to detect it, powering this block and all of these dispensers, which will grow the crop automatically to its full size. And then it will also power this redstone, this repeater, and that piston to push up and break the block. So if we just hold, you can see this works very well, and I even got a poisonous potato. So this works with all crops, and beetroot it will work with, although it will be less efficient because beetroot has different stages, different growth stages than these, which will make it slightly less efficient. So yeah, this is all it is to make it. You need redstone, dispensers, observer, repeater, piston, and farmland. You will also, a lot of these designs require bone meal, so you will probably need to have a pretty good skeleton farm to make all of this bone meal. Next is a farm I have not really seen much of. This is a cocoa bean farm. I created it myself. I bet there are other designs out there, but I think it's pretty compact and effective. So if we turn this on, you can see this dispenser is actually not losing bone meal, even though it looks like it is. So if we take cocoa bean, There we go. So this farm, how it works is, so it has a dispenser always running. When you place a cocoa bean right there, it will dispense it, and right when it grows to its full size, this piston will extend, breaking that cocoa bean and giving it back to you. So, this farm, I bet, could be enhanced, with a bit of a, bigger delay. So if we do that, maybe? There we go. Now you can see it more, that it grows to its full size. So you can tinker with these repeaters as much as you want. But basically, we just have a lever which powers this comparator clock. And we can see the clock starts, and then this will repeatedly power this dispenser with the repeater on 1 tick delay. And then this is a redstone line going to a 4 tick repeater, and a repeater with at least 2 ticks, although 3 and 4 could be more efficient, but maybe not. I'm not sure. So yeah, you need 1 non-sticky piston, a dispenser, a lever, redstone comparator, and 3 repeaters. So yeah, next is also a pretty widely known farm. This is a sugarcane farm. This sugarcane farm, which some others do, this runs on a separate clock than the rest of the farm. This does mean that, of course, you will get a small loss rate because of this one sugarcane farm, but if you have a bunch of sugarcane, it really won't matter. So basically, how it works is, when this sugarcane right here grows all the way up, it will activate that observer. That observer will push that piston, breaking the sugarcane, so it has to grow back up. And the observer will power all of these pistons, pushing the sugarcane that theoretically would have grown here into the hoppers and into the chest. So yeah, we can see it in action by going like that. So you can see, once that grows, it will power all of these pistons, activating the farm. So yeah, it is, what is different about this farm is that it's powered by a separate clock, which means that you can have 2 pistons on top of each other over here, which increases the, or decreases the loss rate, so we don't have as much sugarcane down here. Of course, we do still have sugarcane down there, but the loss rate is small. It is more than I would like it to be, but I tinkered around with other designs, and it was the best I could do it. But losing, like, a stack of sugarcane out of 16 stacks of sugarcane, you don't really need that much sugarcane. So, it shouldn't affect it at all. Next, Cactus Farm. This is by far the most basic farm out of all of these. It's just cactus, some fence posts in between them, and the cactus has to grow on sand, so we have that, with glass blocks under it so it doesn't fall into the water. And then it just gets pushed right into there and drops into here. So, basically how this works is cactus cannot grow, when there's a block next to it. Well, it can grow, but it will break instantly. So when this cactus grows, it will break on the fence post, throwing it into the water. So the thing with this farm is you have to extend the walls, and the fence post has to be too high, because cactus will actually fly off or onto the fence post, which will increase your loss rate. this farm, of course, does have a loss rate because if an item goes into the cactus, it gets destroyed. Although there are not many items that go into the cactus, but that will always be a thing that happens. So now, if we set the tick rate higher, you can see this cactus farm starts working and is very efficient, spewing cactus everywhere, and we got a bunch going into the hoppers. So this farm is really efficient because cactus grows very, very fast. And yeah, it'll get you more green dye than you will ever need. Next, we have the Nether Wart farm. So I have not seen many Nether Wart farm designs at all, so I had to create this one from scratch, and I think I did a pretty good job. It is actually based off of Iskal85's ice farm, where you're kind of going in a circle placing things. So, how it works, if we take another wart, hop in here, basically you can go AFK and you will spin around. You can hold, click on another wart, I'll speed it up, and place nether wart along. So this farm is not very efficient, but if you AFK overnight, it will definitely get the job done. So to break the nether wart, I had to use water because it was just the best way to do it. Oh, you can see one grow. So this is the little circuit I created. So when it becomes day or night or whatever, then this repeater will activate observer, then it will lengthen the pulse into a repeater torch, which will pull that piston back, then letting water flow all of the nether wart and breaking all of it once it's fully grown. Oh, you can see it right there. So if you were going around all night, that nether wart would all be fully grown. And yeah, so how it works. So yeah, you basically just need an observer, some redstone, a repeater. Something that is very important is this repeater coming out of the observer needs to be 2 ticks, or else this extender will not recognize the observer pulse because it is a 1-tick redstone pulse. So then we can have a repeater going into there with a redstone torch. This redstone torch will turn off, unpowering the piston, letting the water flow as we just saw. So we drop in. Now, if I was doing this farm, I would collect all of that nether wart, then ready for placing again. So you can also get a slab, and instead of having packed ice right there, you can have a slab on top of a hopper, and then the items will automatically get picked up. I prefer having packed ice because that way the items will just fling all the way down, go into the water stream, and you will be able to pick them up. And then you don't have to have a bunch of nether wart in your inventory in the first place because it'll just come right back to you. So yeah. Next, I have a kelp farm. So this kelp farm is pretty efficient. Kelp also grows very fast, so that of course helps. So here we have, this is the little circuit, so when this kelp grows and attaches to the kelp block above it, this observer can actually see that, which will then power all of these pistons. And to place in the repeaters, you do have to break the top, place in those, and then place the wood right back on top. So yeah, then when it breaks, it will pop right back into these hoppers and into the chests. This farm does have a pretty high loss rate because like water is just hard to manage. but I think this is the best way to do it. So basically, something you need to have in this farm is there needs to be a water source block on top of these pistons, because the pistons will break the water source block that's right there, and this water source block needs to fill it back in. So yeah, if we set the tick speed to 10,000, you can see all the kelp grows and then gets pushed into the hopper. Because of that weird water I broke, we might have a higher loss rate. But yeah, some kelp will get stuck under the hoppers, but you can't really fix that very well. So I just tried to keep it simple. There we go. So, yep, we got, looks like just 3 kelp that was lost in that amount. That's pretty good. And the kelp is still flowing right back in. So kelp grows really fast. So this farm, once you have quite a few of these piston observer circuits, you won't need much more, because this will get you a lot of kelp for smelting or whatever you want. Next, I have a sea pickle farm. So this, I have seen designs for sea pickle farm. I created this one to be just simple. It may not be the most effective for the materials it uses, but it is very simple and easy to understand. So here we have a hopper clock. With this item will start flowing if I unpower this lever, and then that comparator will activate, making this dispenser shoot out bone meal at the sea pickle. So when a sea pickle is bone mealed and it is sitting on coral, that sea pickle will try to grow a sea pickle next to it. Sadly, we get a lot of duds because there's only one coral block next to it, but it does work well. So over here, once that dispenses bone meal, it will then trigger this. You have a 4-tick repeater and a 1-tick repeater powering this piston, sticky piston, right under there, which will push the coral up and make the pickles flow into this chest. So this water block is also not needed, but it helps because sometimes this coral will think it does not have water next to it when it's being pushed and pulled, and that water block can help so it doesn't turn into dead coral. So if I turn this hopper clock on, you can see how it works. It's bone mealing it, pushing it up, and if we can get a pickle here, yeah, like you can see, we get it there. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so you get a lot of duds, but this pickle farm, if you have it always running in your base, it will definitely work efficiently. And come on, you don't really need that many sea pickles. I mean, yeah. So you can see just from that we got 5 sea pickles. That's pretty good. And yeah, this farm is pretty easy to create. Just remember 4 ticks and 1 tick, and a dispenser filled with bone meal. Now for my 9th and final farm, I created a flower farm. So this is a pretty commonly known farm, but it is very useful for getting dyes with whatever kind of tall flower you want. If we go into the creative inventory, you can see, if we scroll down, it will work with peonies, rose bushes, sunflowers, and lilacs because those are all of the 2-high flowers. So if we turn it on, you can see it just bone meals this plant, then creating stuff, which is creating flowers, which is put in this hopper and put directly into this chest. So you will not need to run this farm very much. If you just have it on for like even 5 minutes, you will get like 2 double chests of red dye. It's crazy. So it will get you a lot of stuff. It also uses 1 bone meal per flower, So that means you're going to need a lot of bone meal. Once again, get a skeleton farm because you will need it. Basically, how it works is you power this comparator clock. It will repeatedly power, and then this repeater, which is on 1 tick, will then go up to the dispenser, shooting out bone meal at this, and then which creates flowers to just pop off, like you can see. And then those flowers down will plop onto this and then get picked up by the hopper minecart on a rail, and this hopper minecart will feed into the hopper, which will then go straight into the chest. So the awesome thing about hopper minecarts here, and why you can't just use a hopper, is because hopper minecarts on a rail will pick up items through the block they're on top of. So that is used in a lot of farms and is an awesome feature. So that's why we have to use it in this farm. But yeah, I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe.